Chosen one, there is something different about this Sunday. You felt it the moment you opened your eyes. Before the alarm, before the light, before the first thought formed itself into language, something in your chest already knew. A quiet hum, a pressure behind the sternum, not painful, not anxious, just present, like the air before a storm decides to announce itself, like the second before a song you love begins. You lay there for a moment, ceiling above you, blanket around you, same room, same walls, same life, sitting in the corner like a coat you've been wearing so long you forgot you put it on. But today feels different, and you've finally, painfully learned to stop arguing with that feeling. Most people spend their Sundays recovering from the week that swallowed them, from the choices that drained them, from the version of themselves they performed Monday through Friday, the one that smiled at the right moments and said fine when asked, and kept moving, always moving, because stopping felt more dangerous than the exhaustion. But you are not most people. You never were. You just spent years pretending you were, because it was easier, because fitting in has its comforts, because there is a strange peace in disappearing into the crowd, in shrinking yourself to the size of other people's expectations and calling it humility. That season is over now. The number 999 has been following you, not in a mystical, superstitious way, or maybe exactly in that way, and you finally stopped being too intellectual to admit it. You saw it on receipts, on license plates, on timestamps when you happened to glance at your phone at 9:09 and 9:19 and then inexplicably 9:99 on a broken clock in a coffee shop that made no logical sense and yet felt like a message written specifically in a language only your soul could read. 999 is not an ending. It is a completion, the closing of a cycle so that something new, something true can finally begin. The universe, in its patient and persistent way, has been tapping you on the shoulder for months, years maybe, trying to get your attention through every possible channel, through the restlessness at 3 a.m., through the job that paid well but felt hollow, through the relationships that were comfortable but never reached you, through the creative work you kept starting and abandoning, not because you lacked talent but because you lacked permission. The kind of permission you kept waiting for someone else to give you. Nobody is going to give it to you. That is the first thing you understand today, lying in bed on this strange and weighted Sunday morning. Nobody is coming. No mentor, no opportunity, no perfect moment that will finally make you feel ready. Ready is a myth. Ready is what people say when they mean safe. And safe has been keeping you small for a very long time. You get up. This is not symbolic. This is not metaphor. You physically, literally get out of the bed. Because that is where everything begins, not in the planning, not in the vision board, not in the journal entry you'll write about your intentions. It begins in the body. In the choice to stand up when every comfort in the room is pulling you horizontal. You stand at the window. The city, or the street, or the field, wherever your life has placed you, exists outside the glass, doing exactly what it always does. Indifferent, ongoing, full of people who are also, in their own ways, standing at their own windows, wondering if today will be the day something shifts. For most of them it won't be, not because they aren't capable, not because they aren't worthy, but because they will wait for the feeling to pass. They will call it anxiety, they will call it a weird mood. They will make coffee and scroll their phones, and by noon the feeling will be buried again under the noise of ordinary life, and they will go another week, another month, another year, half alive and fully comfortable. You are not going to do that today. There is a version of you that already exists on the other side of this day. You can almost see them, standing taller, not because their circumstances changed dramatically in 24 hours, but because they made a decision, a real one. Not the kind you make in the heat of inspiration and quietly retract by Tuesday, the kind that settles into your bones, the kind that reorganizes you from the inside out. That version of you didn't wait for the perfect conditions. They worked in the chaos, they created in the doubt. They showed up in the fear and did the thing anyway, not because the fear left, but because they stopped giving the fear veto power over their life. You want to be that person. You already are that person. You've just been playing a character who isn't. This shift, and it is a shift, the word is exactly right, is not about hustle. Let's be very clear about this, because the world has sold you a poisoned version of ambition dressed up as wisdom. The Sunday 999 shift is not about grinding harder. It is not about doing more. It is not about adding another thing to the list of things you're already failing to complete. It is about alignment. It is about looking at your life with honest eyes and asking, what am I doing that is actually mine? Not what was assigned to you by your family, not what was expected of you by the culture you were born into, not what you fell into because it was available and you were young and didn't know yet that you could choose. What is yours? What, when you do it, makes you feel less like a machine performing a function and more like a human being inhabiting a life. Find that thing. Or if you've already found it, stop abandoning it. The chosen one mythology has been weaponized. In stories, in religion, in self-help culture, it has been used to make people feel either unbearably special or devastatingly ordinary, and both of those feelings are traps. The point was never that one specific individual was cosmically selected while everyone else was background noise. The point, the real, quiet, revolutionary point, is that every person who decides to live fully, to stop sleepwalking, to take their life seriously as a creative act, becomes chosen in the only way that matters. You choose yourself. That is the whole teaching. That is the entire scroll. You choose yourself, not out of narcissism, not out of delusion, not out of some ego-driven belief that you are better than others. You choose yourself out of responsibility, the terrifying, beautiful responsibility of being alive with specific gifts in a specific body at a specific moment in history that will never come again. The responsibility of not wasting it, of not arriving at the end and realizing you spent the whole performance waiting in the wings. Today is Sunday, the 9th month or the 9th hour or the 9th iteration of this same lesson you keep circling back to. The completion is here. You can feel it. What you are completing is the old story. The old story goes like this. I will start when I'm ready. I will show up when it feels right. I will share my work when it's perfect. I will love without armor when I'm sure it's safe. I will take up space when I've earned it. I will live fully when the conditions finally, mercifully align. That story has kept you company for a long time. It has been a very convincing story. It has had excellent internal logic and very reasonable timing. It has always had a good reason why now is not quite the moment. Today you are writing a new story, and the new story begins with action. Not grand action, not dramatic action, the smallest possible true action in the direction of the life you actually want. One email sent. One page written, one conversation started, one old resentment released, one morning without the phone, one decision made from your real values instead of your performed ones. There are people in your life who need you to stay the same. This is not malice, this is human nature. Systems, including the human systems of family and friendship and community, resist change because change in one element requires adjustment in all the others. When you grow, the people who love the old version have to decide whether to grow alongside you or grieve you. That is a real cost. You should know it going in. You should also know that you cannot stay small to make others comfortable. You have tried this for years, in different relationships, in different rooms, with different justifications. And what you have found every single time is that your smallness did not actually make others comfortable. It just made you invisible. And invisible people cannot help anyone, cannot inspire anyone, cannot be the presence in a room that shifts the energy and gives others permission to take up their own space. Your expansion is not selfishness. It is, eventually, a gift. The shift is happening right now, in the reading of these words, in the recognition that is moving through your chest like a slow, warm current. You know this is for you. Not in the vague way that everyone thinks a horoscope is for them, in the specific way that truth arrives when it finds you in the exact moment you are finally ready to stop arguing with it. You have been in preparation for a long time, longer than you know. Every hard thing you survived was not punishment, it was curriculum. Every failure that humiliated you was not evidence of your inadequacy, it was redirection. Every door that closed was not rejection, it was protection from a path that would have taken you further from yourself instead of closer. You are not behind, you are not late. You are precisely, bewilderingly, exactly on time. Now comes the practical part, because vision without structure is just daydreaming in expensive lighting. Today, not tomorrow, not Monday, not after you feel more inspired. Today you are going to identify the one thing, not the 100 things, not the whole plan. The one thing that, if you did it consistently for the next 90 days, would change everything, would compound into something you can barely currently imagine, would build the momentum that every great shift in a human life requires. What is it? You know what it is. You've known for a while. You've been talking yourself out of it with the same reliable arguments. Not the right time, not enough resources, not sure if you're good enough, not sure if it will work. But under those arguments, under the doubt and the delay, is a quiet certainty. A thing you keep returning to, a thing that won't leave you alone no matter how many times you shelve it. That thing is your assignment, not the whole assignment, not the finished version, just the beginning of it, just the first step taken seriously, with your full attention and your real effort, without hedging and without the comfort of your own excuses. This Sunday is not ordinary, but not because the date is mystical or the number is lucky or some external force has decided to bless your timeline. It is not ordinary because you have decided it isn't. You have decided to treat this day as the beginning of something real. And that decision, made internally, privately, in the quiet of wherever you are reading this, is more powerful than any external circumstance. This is the thing about chosen people. They are not chosen by fate. They are chosen by their own repeated, stubborn, often terrifying decision to act in alignment with what they know to be true about themselves, even when, especially when, everything around them says to wait. They act, and then they act again, and again, not always perfectly, not always successfully, but consistently, with the kind of commitment that doesn't depend on feeling motivated because they understand that motivation is a weather system, not a foundation. Discipline, devotion, daily return to the work, that is the foundation. And they build on it every single day, including the days that feel like nothing is happening, including the days that feel like going backward, including the ordinary Sundays that felt different from the moment they opened their eyes. You are going to close this and do the thing. You are going to feel the resistance first. That is normal. Resistance is not a sign that you're going the wrong way. It is almost always a sign that you're going the right way, that you're moving towards something that matters enough to be afraid of. Fear follows meaning. Resistance tracks importance. If it didn't matter, you wouldn't hesitate. The hesitation is data. The hesitation is the compass pointing north. Feel it, breathe through it, and go anyway. By the time this Sunday ends, you will have done something, small or large, seen or unseen, polished or rough. You will have moved, and that movement, that single honest motion in the direction of your real life, will have begun to build something, not overnight. Let's be honest about the timeline, because false urgency is as dangerous as false comfort. This is not a transformation that completes itself by midnight. This is the beginning of a process that will take months, years, the rest of your actual life. The shift that happens today is not the arrival, it is the departure. The moment you stop standing on the platform, watching other people board trains, and you choose yours and you get on. The destination will clarify as you move. This is how it works. You will not have the full map. You will not see more than the next few steps, and you will go anyway, because you have finally understood that waiting for the full map is how people spend their whole lives at the platform, watching. The 999 shift is complete when you begin, not when you succeed, not when you arrive, not when the results are visible and the validation arrives and the evidence is overwhelming. When you begin, genuinely, wholeheartedly, without the safety net of having one foot still in the old story. This is the moment, this strange, quiet, humming, heavy, extraordinary Sunday morning. This is it. You are the chosen one. Not because the sky said so, not because a prophecy named you, not because you are more deserving than the person next to you. You are the chosen one because you are choosing, right now, in this moment that no one else can see, in this decision that exists entirely between you and the version of yourself you are trying to become. Go be them. Everything changes today, not the world around you. You, and you is enough. You is in fact everything. The shift has begun. Sunday, 9:99, everywhere, exactly on time. The rhythm of this script is its greatest weapon, and rhythm in prose is one of the rarest things to get genuinely right. Most writers understand rhythm intellectually. Vary your sentence length, mix short with long, don't repeat the same structure back to back. But understanding it and feeling it are two entirely different things. This script feels it. The sentences breathe. They contract and expand in a way that mirrors the emotional experience the writing is trying to create, which means the form and the content are doing the same work at the same time, and that doubling of effort is what separates competent writing from writing that actually moves people. Look at how the short sentences function throughout the piece. They don't just create contrast, they land like decisions. You get up. 2 words. After paragraphs of interior landscape, philosophical circling, emotional build-up, 2 words that drop the reader back into the body, back into the physical, back into the only place where life actually happens. That is craft. That is a writer who understands that the most powerful moments in motivational language are not the long soaring passages, but the sudden silences, the full stops, the moments where you strip everything away and leave only the irreducible truth sitting alone on the line with nowhere to hide. The piece also earns its emotional beats, which is far harder than it sounds. Most motivational content tells you how to feel before it has given you any reason to feel it. It front-loads the inspiration without doing the work of establishing genuine recognition first. This script moves in the opposite direction. It builds the portrait of a life, the Sunday recovering, the 3 a.m. restlessness, the job that pays well but hollows you out, the relationships that never quite reach you, before it ever makes a claim about what you should do differently. By the time it tells you that ready is a myth, you have already been living inside the evidence. The conclusion doesn't have to argue its case because the case has already been constructed, quietly and patiently, in the paragraphs before it. The line, "Ready is a myth. Ready is what people say when they mean safe," works for exactly this reason. It's compressed, yes. It's precise, yes. But more than either of those things, it arrives at the exact moment the reader has been primed to receive it. Timing in writing is everything. A true sentence delivered too early is just a slogan. The same sentence delivered after the reader has been walked through their own avoidance, their own familiar excuses, their own comfortable waiting, that same sentence becomes a mirror. And mirrors held up at the right moment don't inspire people, they change them. The refusal to tip into toxic positivity also deserves recognition because that line is genuinely difficult to walk. The script acknowledges real costs, that growth strains relationships, that expansion makes people around you uncomfortable, that the process is long and unglamorous and will not complete itself by midnight. This honesty is what gives the more soaring passages their credibility. You believe the hope because the script has not pretended the difficulty away. It has looked at both clearly and chosen forward anyway. That choice, modeled in the writing itself, is the deepest argument the script makes. The middle third of this script is where the energy quietly leaks, and the reason is a pattern that is easy to miss because it sounds like depth while actually functioning as evasion. The script returns again and again to the idea of the one thing and your assignment and what is yours, circling these concepts with beautiful language, building genuine atmospheric pressure around them, and then consistently stepping back before naming anything real. At first this feels intentional, like the writer is respecting the reader's individual journey. By the third or fourth time it happens, it starts to feel like the script is protecting itself, like it is gesturing toward a door but never actually opening it. The problem with sustained abstraction in motivational writing is that it creates a specific kind of emotional experience, one that feels profound in the moment and evaporates almost immediately after. You finish reading, something in your chest is activated, and then you put the piece down and the feeling dissolves because it was never attached to anything concrete enough to hold on to. The best writing of this kind, the work that actually changes behavior, rather than just temporarily elevating mood, always risks specificity. It names a thing. It describes a feeling so precisely that the reader stops nodding along in general agreement and suddenly freezes because they feel personally seen. That freeze is the moment of real impact. This script generates warmth but very few freezes. The 999 symbolism, which opens with genuine intrigue, also begins to carry more weight than it can structurally support as the piece progresses. The image of seeing 999 on receipts and license plates and broken clocks is vivid and strange and immediately interesting. But the script never fully commits to what it wants this symbolism to do. It introduces it as a mystical signal, immediately hedges by calling it not superstitious, then leans back into the mystical framing, and never resolves the tension. A sharper version of this script would make a decision: either lean fully into the metaphysical register and own it completely, or translate the symbolism into purely psychological language and let the poetry come from the precision of that translation. Trying to hold both simultaneously creates a slight wobble in the script's authority, a sense that it is uncertain of its own ground, which the reader feels even if they cannot name it. The chosen one framework, which is genuinely reframed in an interesting way, also gets repeated several times past the point where it still has force. The first articulation, that you choose yourself, that this is the whole teaching, that this is the entire scroll, is strong, clean, quietly devastating in the right way. But then the script returns to the same idea 2 and 3 more times in slightly different clothing, and each return diminishes the original rather than building on it. Repetition in prose can be a powerful rhythmic tool, but only when each iteration adds a new dimension to what came before. Here the repetitions are lateral rather than cumulative. They cover the same emotional ground without deepening it, which creates a sense of the script spinning in place precisely when it should be accelerating toward its ending. What the piece ultimately needs is one moment of radical specificity, one image so concrete and strange and true that it stops being a script about everyone and becomes, for a single paragraph, a script about one real person in one real moment making one real choice. That kind of specificity does not narrow the audience. Counterintuitively, it expands the emotional reach because particular truths resonate more universally than general ones. The reader does not need to share the exact circumstance to feel the exact feeling. They just need to believe that the writer has truly been somewhere, has truly seen something, has truly survived a specific thing, rather than assembled a composite of inspirational experiences into something that resembles depth without quite achieving it. The bones of something exceptional are here. The voice is distinctive, the rhythm is alive, the intention is sincere. Sharpening it means trusting the reader enough to be vulnerable in the specific rather than safe in the universal. And making that leap is almost always the difference between a script that people admire and one they never forget.